Welcome to this in-depth analysis of the Russia-Ukraine war, a conflict that has captured global attention and concern. This video explores the war's origins, tracing back to historical tensions and political disagreements that have simmered for decades. We will examine the risks of this conflict escalating into a larger war, a scenario that could have devastating global consequences. Additionally, we will discuss its broader implications for humanity, including the potential for widespread instability and suffering. We will dive into the characteristics of such a catastrophic conflict, analyzing the strategies and tactics employed by both sides. Furthermore, we will explore the challenges faced by global institutions in preventing it, highlighting the limitations and potential reforms needed. Our analysis also highlights India's diplomatic role in de-escalation, showcasing its efforts to mediate and promote peace. We will discuss the reforms required in global governance to better handle such conflicts in the future. This study is designed for UPSC aspirants, blending current affairs with crucial geopolitical insights, providing a comprehensive understanding of the situation. The humanitarian and economic dimensions of this war cannot be overstated, as they affect millions of lives and the global economy. As millions suffer amid the ongoing crisis, the need for effective humanitarian aid and intervention becomes ever more critical. Could this conflict be the spark for a larger war? We will explore the potential scenarios and their implications. Stay with us for a comprehensive breakdown of the events, strategies, and potential outcomes of this conflict. By understanding these dynamics, you can enhance your preparation for civil service examinations and policy-making roles, equipping yourself with the knowledge to make informed decisions. Like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of critical global issues, and stay informed about the world around you. The Russia-Ukraine war didn't start overnight. It is a culmination of long-standing tensions and historical grievances. It has roots in decades of geopolitical rivalry, dating back to the Cold War era when the world was divided into two opposing blocs. With Russia opposing NATO's eastward expansion since the 1990s, the tension has only escalated over the years. In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea, citing historical ties and strategic interests, a move that was widely condemned internationally. This action sparked outrage from Ukraine and the West, leading to a series of sanctions and diplomatic standoffs. NATO's presence near Russian borders has long been viewed as a direct security threat by Moscow, heightening the sense of encirclement. Ukraine, on the other hand, views NATO membership as a safeguard against Russian aggression, seeking protection and support from Western allies. This conflict isn't just territorial, it's ideological. It represents a clash between two different visions for the future. Russia opposes Western democracy's influence, fearing it undermines its own political system and regional influence. Meanwhile, Ukraine seeks closer ties with the EU and NATO, aspiring to integrate with Western political and economic structures. The Black Sea is another factor, serving as a strategic and economic lifeline for both nations. With Ukraine's ports being critical for global trade and energy transportation, control over this region is highly contested. The humanitarian impact has been severe, with countless lives disrupted and communities torn apart. Over 8 million refugees have fled Ukraine since 2022, seeking safety and stability in neighboring countries. This mass exodus has created a crisis across Europe, straining resources and testing the limits of international aid. Sanctions against Russia have disrupted global supply chains, affecting everything from food to technology. These disruptions have pushed inflation and energy prices higher worldwide, impacting economies far beyond the immediate conflict zone. A potential World War III would differ significantly from previous global conflicts. Advanced technologies like cyber warfare, drones, and hypersonic missiles would dominate the battlefield. Cyber attacks could target critical infrastructure, crippling power grids, water supplies, and communication systems globally. The role of propaganda and misinformation would escalate, fueled by AI and social media, creating mass confusion. Large-scale urban warfare would devastate cities, leading to unprecedented civilian casualties. Economically, global trade would halt, supply chains would collapse, and food shortages would become widespread. The environmental toll would also be immense, with infrastructure destruction contributing to long-term ecological damage. Alliances like NATO, Quad, and AUKUS would determine the scale and direction of the conflict, and in the worst-case scenario, nuclear weapons could come into play. ending life as we know it. Geopolitical dynamics and military strategies would play crucial roles in shaping the course of the conflict, with global leaders navigating a complex web of alliances and rivalries. The possibility of nuclear escalation in this conflict cannot be ignored. Russia and NATO possess over 13,000 nuclear warheads combined. Even a limited nuclear war could cause a nuclear winter, disrupting agriculture and leading to mass starvation. The fallout would contaminate land and water supplies, making regions uninhabitable for centuries. The psychological and societal impacts of a nuclear war would linger for generations. Environmental consequences, such as radiation and climate shifts, would exacerbate existing global crises. The Non-Proliferation Treaty and arms reduction agreements have never been more critical. Past examples like Hiroshima and Nagasaki remind us of the horrors of nuclear warfare. Preventing such a catastrophe requires robust diplomacy and immediate de-escalation. India's unique position as a neutral global player allows it to mediate between conflicting powers. As a member of BRICS and G20, India advocates for dialogue and peaceful resolutions. India's balanced ties with Russia and the West enable it to act as a credible negotiator. Domestically, India is diversifying its energy imports to reduce dependency on Russian oil and gas. The Indian government has repeatedly called for an end to violence and a return to diplomacy. Through its Neighborhood First policy, India emphasizes regional stability, which is crucial for global peace. India can also push for reforms in the United Nations to make it more effective in conflict prevention. India's role underscores the importance of strategic autonomy and non-alignment in a polarized world. The UN's reliance on consensus often paralyzes decision-making, particularly due to the veto power held by permanent Security Council members, which has been evident in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. This has led to criticism that the UN is ineffective in resolving the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Proposed reforms include expanding the Security Council and revising veto powers to make the body more inclusive and effective in such conflicts. The UN must also adapt to modern threats like cyber warfare and misinformation campaigns, which have been prominent in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The lack of enforcement mechanisms in international treaties further weakens the UN's role in addressing the Russia-Ukraine war. Despite these challenges, the UN remains a vital platform for multilateral diplomacy in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Strengthening its peacekeeping missions and conflict resolution frameworks is crucial for the UN to effectively intervene in the Russia-Ukraine war. Reforms must prioritize inclusivity, effectiveness, and rapid response to crises like the Russia-Ukraine conflict. While the Russia-Ukraine war highlights global divisions, it also offers opportunities for international collaboration to address the conflict and its broader implications. Multilateral efforts are essential in finding a resolution. Strengthening arms control agreements is one such opportunity. By working together, nations can reduce the risk of escalation. Reviving treaties like the INF Treaty could play a crucial role in maintaining stability and preventing future conflicts. Energy diversification is another critical area. Shifting towards renewable energy sources can reduce dependency on conflict-prone regions. Nations are accelerating their transition to renewable energy, investing heavily in technologies that harness the power of the sun and wind. This shift can lead to greater energy security and economic stability, reducing the impact of the conflict on global energy markets. Multilateral platforms like the G20 and BRICS can foster economic cooperation. These forums provide a space for dialogue and collective action, and address the ripple effects of the war, including inflation and supply chain disruptions. Collaborative efforts can mitigate these impacts and promote global economic resilience. Global collaboration is also crucial for countering misinformation and cyber threats. In our interconnected world, digital security is a shared responsibility. Establishing international norms for digital warfare is a growing priority. These norms can help prevent cyber conflicts and protect critical infrastructure. Diplomatic initiatives like back-channel negotiations are essential. These behind-the-scenes efforts often pave the way for formal agreements, and third-party mediations have proven successful in the past. Neutral parties can facilitate dialogue and help resolve disputes, and could be applied here. The lessons learned from past conflicts can guide current efforts. Developing nations, often the hardest hit by such conflicts, need support. Their perspectives and needs must be considered in global strategies, must be given a stronger voice in shaping the global response. Inclusive dialogue ensures that solutions are equitable and effective. Ultimately, collaboration rooted in mutual respect and shared goals is the key. When nations work together, they can achieve remarkable outcomes, can turn this crisis into a turning point for international peace. By seizing these opportunities, the world can move towards a more peaceful and cooperative future. The Russia-Ukraine war is a stark reminder of the fragility of global peace. It underscores the need for collective action, diplomacy, and bold reforms to tackle contemporary challenges. Policymakers and aspirants must grasp these dynamics, as today's solutions will shape tomorrow's world. Key takeaways include the importance of international cooperation, the role of diplomacy, and the need for proactive reforms. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth videos on critical global issues. Let's work together for a world defined by dialogue, understanding, and peace. Pause 2S. To understand the present conflict between Russia and Ukraine, we must delve to 2S. Together we can build a better world. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has far-reaching economic impacts. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Both nations are significant players in global markets, particularly in energy and agriculture. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Disruptions in these sectors have led to increased prices worldwide. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. For instance, the conflict has caused a spike in oil and gas prices, affecting everything from transportation to heating costs. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Additionally, Ukraine is a major exporter of wheat and other grains. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. The war has disrupted supply chains, leading to food shortages and higher prices globally. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Economies already weakened by the COVID-19 pandemic are facing further strain. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Inflation rates are rising, and the cost of living is becoming increasingly burdensome for many. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Small businesses and large corporations alike are feeling the pressure. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. In response, governments are implementing various measures to mitigate these impacts. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. However, the long-term economic consequences remain uncertain. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. It's essential to stay informed and understand how these global events affect our daily lives. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay engaged. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Together, we can navigate these challenging times. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Diplomatic efforts and peace talks have been ongoing amid the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Various international bodies, including the United Nations and the European Union, are actively involved. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. High-level meetings and negotiations aim to de-escalate tensions and find a lasting resolution. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Despite setbacks, these talks represent a glimmer of hope for a peaceful outcome. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Countries around the world are calling for an immediate ceasefire and the withdrawal of military forces. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Sanctions and diplomatic pressure are tools being used to bring parties to the negotiating table. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. The role of mediators, including neutral countries and international organizations, is crucial. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Public opinion also plays a significant role in pushing for peace. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Citizens worldwide are advocating for diplomatic solutions over military actions. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. The road to peace is challenging, but concerted efforts can make a difference. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor these developments. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Together we can hope for a better future. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. The ongoing conflict has led to a severe humanitarian crisis. Pause 1S. Millions of people have been displaced from their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries. Pause 1S. Families are torn apart, with many facing dire conditions in refugee camps. Pause 1S. Essential supplies such as food, water, and medical aid are in short supply. Pause 1S. International organizations and NGOs are working tirelessly to provide relief. Pause 1S. Volunteers and aid workers are on the front lines, risking their lives to help those in need. Pause 1S. The global community is urged to donate and support these humanitarian efforts. Pause 1S. Every contribution, no matter how small, can make a significant impact. Pause 1S. We must come together to alleviate the suffering and rebuild lives. Pause 1S. Stay informed and take action. Pause 1S. Remember, we are all part of the same human family. Pause 1S. Pause 2S. Despite the challenges, there is hope for a brighter future. Pause 1S. Diplomatic channels remain open, providing opportunities for dialogue and resolution. Pause 1S. Peace negotiations, though complex, offer a path toward ending the conflict. Pause 1S. Nations around the world are advocating for a peaceful settlement. Pause 1S. Economic recovery plans are being discussed to rebuild war-torn regions. Pause 1S. Innovative solutions and international cooperation are key to lasting peace. Pause 1S. The resilience of communities is inspiring, showing the strength of the human spirit. Pause 1S. Education, social programs, and infrastructure development will pave the way for a stable future. Pause 1S. Let's continue to support initiatives that promote peace and prosperity. Pause 1S. Together, we can create a world where conflicts are resolved through dialogue, not violence. Pause 1S.